So we thought we should. So
I hope you
okay.
don't mind if we record this. We will probably want to
Right?
share this with other members.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I imagine that the way you interact with these people is very, very sharing and very nice. And I imagine that asking the question and giving them the choice is an important reason why they become protective of the trees.
Thank you very much. Thank you, cool. I'm sorry. Is it clear? Is it clear now?
It stopped buzzing, but I think you're farther from the microphone than you were.
Yes, I've corrected that. So when we went for the top planting, we were at the Mount's house, and when we told him everything about the importance of having a tree in his premises, he kind of liked the idea, welcomed the idea. So when we are now discussing the kind of tree that actually fits into the little space he has and the structures around him and his own structure too. So we thought a light tree will work, not very heavy tree. So we thought of a tangerine tree too, because we've seen a tangerine tree flourish
Sure.
very well. Yeah, flourish very well before it fell. As of the one that fell, that has to be restored. So we are confident that it can stay within the premises without causing any harm or threat. Or
Mm-hmm.
then we look over the electric cables everywhere to make sure that the tree will not be disturbing any electric cables, and so that that wouldn't be a reason to chop up the trees. So we look for reasons that will make them not to kind of get bored or tired of the trees. So those reasons we take care of them so that they can enjoy the tree without any inconveniences. So we now did the planting at Alaji's place, and today when we went there, when we visited, the tree is doing very fine and flourishing, doing very fine. We hope in the next few years we start harvesting and tasting the fruits of it. And yes.
I was going to say, when you say we, how many of you are there?
Actually, we grow every day. Initially, we were like 2, then 3, but now we are 8. But as at the time we are at a larger space doing that planting and discussing with you earlier, we were 3 in numbers. 2 of us were doing the planting. The third person was taking the videos.
And so 8 is great. We need 8 million of you. What is your plan to expand, to spread the word? What do you need to be even more effective?
Yes, it's our plan to spread the word, because we see we are doing this eco evangelism. That's what we call it when we talk to people.
Very nice.
We have like some eco evangelists telling them that the reasons why they shall be tree and all that. Then in addition to that, we see ourselves like if everything has been created before man was created, then probably the reason for the creation of man with all this intellect is to take care of that which has been created. So we take it upon ourselves and we explain it to them like that. We then see reasons why they should feel more responsible for the planet and other ecological neighbors. So that's how we go from one place to the other until
and how do you pay for these activities?
Actually, most of us, we are all volunteers. We tell ourselves the reasons. The reason why we are doing this is just because we want to do it, and it's not taking too much of our time. And after doing it, sometimes, like the one we did at Alaji Bakari's place, he was happy enough to make us happy, and we are able to have a good lunch, have a good drink, and went home go home happy that we do what we want to do, what we had to do. We are
That's
not being
great.
fun. We have just been doing it out of what we felt we should be doing, so that we can have stories to tell on eco restoration activities. So we
Well,
document it, we write it as diary, put it up as a
well,
story.
I saw the documentation in your presentation. Do you have other stories that you've written or share?
I'm working on other stories, but I'm not really done. I've not really done much on it, but I'm still
Um,
working on other stories.
that's great. I want to show you a project that I would love to feature your work in. We have been working on what I call the big map to save the planet. If I show you here, if I show you something on your screen, are you going to be, if I share my screen, are you able to see it?
I would like to see it, but my skin is black. I'm not seeing anything. Okay,
Okay, then.
I see. I think I
Well,
should be able to see.
we'll send you some pictures
Okay, I see it. I
and a
see it.
description, but I'll tell you about it. We have you seen Google Earth before? The big,
Google
the
Health. Okay.
Google Earth,
Yes.
a big map of the globe. We have something like that, and it has pins all over the world, and each pin is about a particular place, large or small, that eco restoration is happening on. And I want to fill it with thousands and thousands of stories of backyards or wildlife reserves or city parks. Just every case we can find of people doing this critical work, because we can fix the whole planet if we can get everybody everywhere to take responsibility for the little bits of land they have access to. And your stories, your group, your people, the homes with the tangerine, these are great stories and will encourage other people. So, are you with us?
Yes, yes, I'm with you.
Okay. So, with your permission, I'll send you a little bit of information, and we will ask you to share your stories. But of course, we also would like to ask you to join the Eco Restoration Alliance. You're doing exactly what needs to be done for exactly the right reasons, as far as I can tell, in exactly the right way. I think we have a lot to learn from you, and we need a lot more people doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we will follow up by email. Now, today, uh, you're on the phone and you have a black screen. Do you have access to a computer? Because we have group meetings every few weeks or maybe every month, in which we meet each other, and we tell each other what we're doing, and we talk about what we might do. And it would be lovely for you um, to meet other members of the alliance and for them to get a chance to meet you. Do you have access to a computer or to a
Yes,
good
yes,
internet connection?
yes. I'll just need to upgrade my battery so that I can be ready all the time. So I'll do
Very
that,
good.
and I think I'll be very much connected.
Okay.
That can be done in a short while.
Well, we're very happy to be connected with you, Ajibona. I'm very impressed by what you're doing. Do you have ideas about how being connected with the Eco Restoration Alliance can support you? We, we, we're, we're trying to figure out how to be of service in encouraging people doing exactly what you're doing. Are there ways we can help that you want to tell us about?
Yes, it's very challenging sometimes after doing the planting. I hear that something is going on that is not right with the tree or something like like the planting we did at the Muslim praying ground. We did the planting hoping that the place is protected because it's fenced around with the gates, and we are confident that it was well done. Only for us to find to later being called upon that pigs came in from the back, because the back is to the river. Pigs came in from the back to come and destroy some of the trees. Wow, we are
I'm
tired,
sorry,
but we still have to go back. But we still have to
I,
go back and do a lot of planting and a lot of work and a lot of rigorous carrying, transporting, movement. So we sometimes funding is just the only aspect of it, and maybe more information on the right trees to put in place. Sometimes we need to discuss it.
well, that's great. We don't have any money. We're trying to figure out how to organize in order to be able to support these projects. But we do have experts who can give you advice on trees, and we can connect you with other people um, who know about this kind of thing. So that we can do. I think the next step, frankly, is just for us to share your presentation and to invite you to a town hall meeting and to urge you to give us stories about what you've done, and we'll see what we can do. If you have specific questions, like what kind of tree in this kind of environment, or how can we address this kind of issue, I think if you join our mailing list and you ask the question, you'll get answers from people who have a lot of knowledge. And other people will ask questions, and you may be able to give them answers as well.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, that's fine.
Um,
That would be
because
nice.
you gave us that presentation, because you've told the story. I don't have any more questions for you. Do you have more questions for us?
Yes. Um, the communities that kind of like support eco restoration, like some communities like they are kind of like kind protective of the trees after being done, and they welcome you in and all that. How do you make them more happy? Like, what if they have an environmental issue and that needs solving?
How do
How
you
then do
make
you go
those,
about it?
I'm sorry, how do you
Yeah,
make those organizations more happy? Is that your
those, yeah,
question?
those, yeah, yeah. The communities that are eco-friendly, that accept restoration, and how do you help them when they have issues like sanitation issue, like flooding, like erosion issues? We still want to help them besides just planting trees and making trees, and they have other environmental issues too that the communities
Yes,
needed help to be addressed. So sometimes we felt we ought to do more, and we are not doing enough, and
it's a
issues like that. I like to read other people's stories, how they went about it. Such stories as after.
it's a really good question. Um, as I presume you know, that planting, covering bare ground, making sure there's ground cover, digging trenches so that when it rains, the water goes into the soil instead of flooding. Those are all eco-restoration activities that do address those issues. Uh,
Okay.
do you know those stories? Do you know about, for example, digging trenches and so that water seeps into the ground instead of flowing off and flowing
I
away?
don't, I'm hearing that for the first time. I think I like it. I'll try it somewhere. Uh,
Okay, so
yes,
I will
yes.
send you, uh, and Cole will help me remember. I will send you a presentation by Natalie Topa, who's working in Somalia and a number of other places. And Cole is pointing out that justdigit.org, which we will send in your email, although it's in the chat as well. They have demonstrated a simple technique of just digging trenches in the ground in such a way that when it rains instead of just flooding and washing everything away, the water stays in the ground and then seeps into the ground. And that addresses flooding as well as drought, of course, because when it fails to rain, you've got moist soil and the plants are drawing it up from underground.
Yes, yes, I like that. I like that.
And for that matter, it also addresses drought, because now that you've got moist soil and you've got plants, the plants themselves promote the rain. So there's a whole set of interactions which used to happen everywhere all the time. Animals support the plants build the soil moves the moisture makes rain and avoids flooding and fires. And all of that has broken down through overgrazing. And anywhere you see bare dirt, you actually see humanity's great mistake. And it's easy to fix. It's not that hard to fix. So we will share that story with you, and it will be a way for you to help the village with more than trees.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
But I have one other thought for you, and this is just a new idea. But these villages, there are millions of villages. Some
Yes,
villages are beginning to get the right idea. Some villages aren't. Well, you're working on, for example, tree-friendly cities, but I understand that you're also working on tree-friendly villages and so on. If if we could identify places that are really getting on board that way, are really doing all the right things, improving their environments, but also improving the global living system, maybe there are ways in which we can publicize them so that when they get into trouble, there are other ways to help. I don't know, it's just a thought, but if you help us understand the world you're working in and the particular groups who you think can be counted on to continue this in the future, I would love to think about whether we can find ways of making them part of the global community so that we can all support each other.
that'll be great. That'll be great.
It's a nice idea. I'm good on nice ideas. I don't know how to do it, so I'm not making any promises. But it sounds to me like you're really looking and thinking and learning and doing. And so maybe we can figure something out together.
Yes. That'll be,
Okay.
that'll be fine.
Any other questions? So you asked a question, I gave you an answer. I had to make up half of it as I went along, but I'm happy to answer any other questions you have.
Okay. Like, supposing I'm here in Lagos, and of course, and I felt I have a solution to a problem in northern Nigeria. How do I help them in northern Nigeria when I'm here in southern Nigeria? And I felt I can help them.
It's a big
I have
country,
it's a
right?
big country.
It's a
Yeah.
big country. I don't know if we have, if today we have other alliance members in northern Nigeria, but I suspect we do, or we certainly know people who do. And I think the best answer we have right now is we can put you in touch with them. The internet makes it a lot easier to, and the phone system makes it a lot easier to compare notes with people. And so that's a first thing to do. Maybe we can help with travel, but travel is expensive and it might be better to spread the word than to spread the people. I don't know. But we can, when we put you on the map, you'll be able to look for other people on the map as well and perhaps get in touch with them.
All right. Okay.
Okay, you can ask more questions in our mailing list that we'll connect you with. And I hope to see your smiling face next time we're together. I saw your pictures in the presentation, but I look forward to introducing you to your friends from around the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you very much for getting in touch with us. How did you come to us, Ajibona? I don't remember anymore.
I I applied. I check on the net. I saw Alpha Climate, and I click on work with us.
There you go.
I was directed to internship. Then I started internship. Then Adam Sachs directed me to Anna Louise
There you
for
go.
the
That's right.
internship, and I did
Okay.
the summary review for 3 compendium series before I started my Friends of Fireflies.
Well, that's great. That's great. I'm so glad you're continuing in this work. Do you have a day job? Do you have a job for which you are paid?
No,
Okay.
though I'm just trying to do this farming, this sack farming, and I think people are getting to like it. Sack farming, where people can grow their vegetables
That's
right there
great.
in their own houses, right in their own houses. So I just started it, and people are turning up, but
Well,
there's
of course.
the
See,
problem.
where I come
Yeah,
from, in my world, most people are paid to do work and they don't like the work. You found a way to not have to be paid and you like the work. And by the way, you're saving the planet. That's great. And so are you eating the food that you farm?
I'll eat it. They are here too. I'm just starting it, and
That's great.
people that comes around see what I'm doing. All of them always say they want one, they want one. Well, I'm just starting in that. I'm not really harvested anything yet, but the look of it, many people that comes around see it, they say, "Oh, I like this, I like this, I want
That's
this, I want."
great.
So I have demands already, though I've not started much of production. So I'm
It
encouraged that
sounds
doing it, I'll get people to buy it. So I'm optimistic. It's just the problem of soil. Soil is scarce in the city, and
Yeah,
that's the idea that if I have it in a sack, you can grow your own little vegetables like pepper, tea leaves, scent leaves, some small materials like that. And people buy it, they like the idea, but I've not really been producing. I've just started the production, they have not come to maturity yet.
that's great. That's great. It sounds like very rewarding and meaningful and important work. Um, Ajibona, thank you for what you do. We'll be in touch, and I hope to see you at our next meeting.
Well, thank you, Cole. We'll see
And
you next meeting.
Ajibona, you can write us anytime. You have our emails on this calendar invite. You can write us anytime you have questions or you want help getting connected. I'm
No
very,
problem.
I'm very proud of what you do, and we'll be very happy to help tell your story.
Thank you very much, Cole.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Cole. Yeah.
Bye.
Right. To see. Bye bye. Bye.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Yeah. Too. See ya.